One Championship bills itself as the world's largest martial arts organization with valuations close to $1 billion. We talked to founder, chairman and CEO Chatri Sityodong about taking on the NFL and F1, how Muay Thai saved him from poverty and turning blood sport into stories about heroes. You have this goal and you've been very public about it, how you want One Championship to be like the biggest sports property like in the world. How are you going to go about sort of achieving that goal?
The world's most valuable sports property right now is the NFL in America. It's worth $75 billion. It's a single country sport, American football, played only in the United States. US has a population of 325 million people. That's it. You come to Asia, there's 4.4 billion people. The greatest cultural treasure of Asia is martial arts. 5,000-year history in Asia. The entire continent of 4.4 billion people already understands martial arts, and martial arts are already part of the daily fabric of society, history, tradition, and culture. I just want to celebrate this, and I really believe that One Championship will unite 4.4 billion people. So if you just do the math, NFL, 325 million people, $75 billion market cap. Asia, 4.4 billion. Martial arts. The math speaks for itself in terms of the scalability. You know, every region of the world has several multi-billion-dollar sports properties except for Asia. So Asia is the only continent that does not have a pan-Asian sports property. Every other one, EPL, is all over Europe, actually all over the world. Same thing for the States.
Formula One as well?
Formula One is, it's a global property. It's a global sports property.
Yeah.
So NBA is a global sports property, even though it's an American property. That's the opportunity that I saw several years ago. I'm so grateful. I'm full of gratitude and appreciation to all of our fans for making One Championship Asia's first global sports property.
You talk actually a lot about how people, and I suppose you mean like sponsors or broadcasters and all these people seem to miss the potential in Asia, which is actually really, really strange because you have seen the popularity of Muay Thai and other martial arts. It's like, so how are you going to go about sort of like tapping into that and showing them, guys, you basically were blind and missed an opportunity?
Well, it's not happening anymore. Now it seems like every brand wants to be part of One Championship, but it was the first 4 years from 2011 to 2014 and a half-ish, whereby I was literally rejected by every government, every broadcaster, every brand, advertiser. It was every media agency. There was just literally no one wanted to have anything to do with sports, A, an Asian sports property, and then B, martial arts. And it was just mind-blowing to me that, I literally every day, every week went through rejection and failure for the first 4 years of One Championship's journey. One Champion is now approximately 7 years old. The last 3 years have been the exact opposite. It's just been a rocket ship, sky to the moon. I'll give you an example. 3.5 years ago, we were doing 300,000 online video views for the whole year. We just crossed 3.5 billion in Q1 in terms of an annualized run rate. So the numbers have just literally exploded, and our TV ratings have gone from 1 to 2% TV rating share to 11 to 50% TV rating share. So it's just exploded, and every country's been this way. So if you look at our broadcast hours, they've literally gone up 10x across their entire region. So now, of course, all the brands are clamoring to be a part of One Championship, and we have the largest Fortune 500 global list of brands. So whether it's Walt Disney, whether it's Casio, LG, whether it's L'Oreal, Shiseido, you name it, all the brands have now, it finally clicks.
You actually said it quite bluntly, I think, recently, that basically for those 4 years, you just got your butt kicked all the time, right?
Yeah, that's what happened. For 4 years, if I didn't love martial arts as much as I love it, I don't know. I think a normal person definitely would have quit in the first year.
So what actually changed then? I mean, like, what happened in that shift of 4 years? What light clicked on that finally people started embracing it? Was it increased adoption, the way you reached out to people? Because there must have been something. It doesn't just happen.
Right. A few factors that really ignited it. So since day one, our mission has been to unleash real-life superheroes who ignite the world with hope, strength, dreams, courage, and inspiration. And we had those heroes, but I guess we had not gone to the depths of telling the stories poignantly enough. And once we told the stories of Edward Falang in the Philippines, who's our Filipino hero, he was born to illiterate parents in the bottom rungs of society. He had 9 brothers and sisters. 5 died from basic illness because they couldn't afford a doctor. And he became the first in his family to read and write, first to go to university, and eventually became a world champion. Voted Athlete of the Year in the Philippines. Had a parade in his honor. Philippine Senate invited him. That is a fairy tale story, a Cinderella, real life Cinderella story. And when we start telling these stories more deeply, in its authenticity, then suddenly, people start realizing this is not about fighting or martial arts. Edward's life, his lessons, his inspiration he can give. It's whether you are a street kid in Manila, whether you're a nurse, a teacher, doctor, a CEO, you'll be inspired by that life. You'll learn lessons from it. And that was the turning point for us, is when all these heroes suddenly, we'd been building these heroes and nurturing these heroes and their stories and their values across every country and all the continents. And suddenly it just clicked.
Of course, that kind of resonates with you because of your background. You did mention that you trained every single day, but you had that kind of upbringing. Your family was struggling at the beginning, then you sort of put yourself through scholarship, you worked yourself on Wall Street. Is that why you feel the need that for this company, it's more about the story because it resonates with your story? Of
course, for me, One Championship is very, very personal. As the founder, everything that One Championship does, everything that we represent, of course, is a part of who I am. I mean, our values, it's not by accident. The fact that this is really the first organization in the world that's truly authentically celebrating real martial arts, authentic martial arts. Yes, because I'm a martial artist. I've been doing it all my life. I'm from Thailand. I grew up there. I went through lots of struggles and poverty. My father abandoned the family. And in many ways, I didn't realize it at the time, but in many ways, when I walk through our events, or whether I'm in airports or whether I'm in restaurants, I get fans approach me and want a selfie, and they tell me how my life, overcoming poverty, overcoming abandonment, and doing something that I love to do good in the world has inspired them. What is sort of your outlook for something like Malaysia? Because we know certain fighters, Thai fighters are very well known, for example, but what do you see as Malaysia as a market for somebody like One Championship? It's no secret that we're the #1 sports property on Astro, and they're showing us up to 1,000 hours of content a year. Malaysians absolutely love One Championship, and it's the same thing. They love their heroes. We have Agilan Tani, who was born in the rough and ragged, poor area of Sentul. He had a single parent childhood, went through a lot of adversity, he was very overweight as a kid, bullied, and he is genuinely Malaysia's biggest martial arts star with the real chance and real potential of being a world champion in the future. What does your timeline actually look like? I mean, do you give each country equal time, and do you say we will hold a certain number of events every year? This year we're doing 24 events, we're scaling to 36 events, and then eventually 52 events a year, so once every weekend, all across all the iconic cities of Asia. So Tokyo, Seoul, Beijing, Shanghai, Bangkok, Jakarta, Manila, KL, Singapore, etc. And all we are doing is celebrating Asian values, telling incredible life stories, and honoring the heroes of Asia on the global stage. One Championship is lucky because, in a sense, you guys are a unicorn, aren't you? You are. Right. You've got Temasek behind you, you've got Sequoia Capital behind you. So I've heard that you've raised a new bunch of funding. Where does that all go? To grow the business even further. I feel like I'm the luckiest. I still feel like that 9-year-old kid who first fell in love with Muay Thai. I feel very blessed and full of gratitude to be in the position I am, that the fact that the fans all over Asia have embraced us. Never did I think when I started this thing that we would topple all the other global sports properties that exist here in Asia in terms of TV ratings or social media metrics. I just didn't know that would happen. And we're now #1 or #2 across all sports in every country. And in terms of viewership? Viewership, social media metrics, everything, yeah. TV ratings, broadcast hours. The crazy thing is, I feel like we're just at the very beginning. So yes, we have a very large balance sheet now because thanks to Sequoia. Big institutional investors. But when I look at how far we got to go, I want 4 billion fans who are crazy about us. Right now we have hundreds of millions. So we have got a long, long way to go before this thing becomes truly, truly part of everyday fabric of society, of daily life, of culture, of tradition and history. And I won't rest until we have at least 2 billion concurrent viewers for all of our shows.